So in your interview, you need to talk a lot about yourself. But the big question is, how do you humble brag without sounding arrogant? So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly the 3 things that you need to do. The A, B, C, the steps 1, 2, and 3. My name is Justin Lee. Okay, anyway, the steps 1, 2, and 3 to answer these questions, to humble brag and give your best self, to exude confidence in the physical therapy interview. What is going on, everyone? My name is Dr. Justin Lee, physical therapist. I'm a PT school admission expert and I help students get accepted into physical therapy school. So let's get into this video. Lego. All right, so this is exactly how you are going to humble brag with any question that they give you, and I'm going to give you an example of how to do this. So step number 1, you want to make sure that whatever they ask you, you pick one thing. That's it. Just talk about one thing. You might have a list of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characteristics or things about you, but just say one thing. Step number 2, share one story, just one story that will facilitate or share the example of this one characteristic or one thing about you. And lastly, number 3, is to share what you have learned or some reflections on that story. And for this, some of those reflections, I'd keep it to 1 or 2 things that you have learned or reflected upon. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of how maybe somebody might ask you a question and how you can use steps 1, 2, 3. My name's Justin Lee. I'm gonna coin this the Justin Lee method here. Okay, here we go. So if somebody asks you, and this is a pretty common question that PT programs will ask you, they will say something like, tell me about a time when your leadership experiences or your leadership skills have come out. Or some kind of leadership question, or what makes a good leader, or give me an example of a time when you were a leader. So all you have to say is, remember, share that one thing, right? And so what I would say is, so one of the things that make me a great leader is that I take initiative. Now, I believe initiative is really important to take as a leader because it gets the job done. So there was a time when we were all hanging out, me and my friends, and what we would do is we would always hang out in the parking lot. We would go eat or go hang out somewhere, and then before we go into our cars, we're just hanging around the parking lot trying to figure out the next thing to do. And there's maybe 5 to 10 people here at a time, so there's different opinions. Hey, let's do this, we should do that, we should do that. And people share their input, but nothing gets done. And guess what? People are hanging around in the parking lot for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we end up going home anyway. Oh, this frustrates me so much because I'm a type of person that wants to be productive and move the issue along, right? Move the story along. And by just dwelling in the parking lot, I wasn't a happy camper. So this is when I took it upon myself to say, hey, you know what? Hey, John, that sounds good. We should get some dessert. Hey, Jane, that sounds good. Maybe we should go to another place to eat. Everybody, we have 2 different options. It sounds like this is what people want. Raise your hand if you want to do this. Raise a hand. Raise your hand if you want to do this. Great. There's a majority vote for dessert, so we're going to go get dessert. If y'all want to come along, but the 6 people that said yes to dessert, let's go. And then guess what? Everybody in that parking lot ended up migrating to go get dessert anyway. So what I learned is that taking initiative, being the spokesperson, the person who can facilitate all the information that are coming in at a group, and then pretty much just communicate it in a way to take some action, is something that I found really helpful when being a leader. And I do this in the context of my friends. I use the same initiative quality in the context of being in school or being at church or being in my clubs. All these different things, I've learned that just taking in the information from other people and just making it concise and giving people action, a yes or a no, really help move the needle forward. Boom! That's what you gotta say. Steps 1, 2, and 3. Keep it very simple. You have that one thing, right? That one characteristic. Number 2, you have that one story. And then number 3, share your reflections. Share what you've learned. 1 or 2 things there. That is how you exude confidence. That is how you humble brag about yourself. Talk about yourself without sounding arrogant. Woo! I hope this video was helpful for y'all. Those who are in this PT school application season and are interviewing right now, best of luck. If you need some help with any of that, I do offer free consultations so that we can talk a little bit about your interview coming up. You can sign up with the link in the description. Have a good one, you guys.